Saint Joseph Margaret Bakhita was born around 1869 in the village of Olgosa in the Darfur region of Sudan. She was a member of the Daju people, and her uncle was a tribal chief. Due to her family lineage, she grew up happy and relatively prosperous. In her words, she did not know suffering. She had 3 brothers and 3 sisters, including a twin sister. Other 4 siblings died before she was born. Darfur then was an independent sultanate. Bakhita didn't have a structured religious upbringing. As a child, she admired the breathtaking beauty of the earth and had a longing to meet its creator and adore him. Muhammad Ali, a Macedonian soldier, was governor of Egypt from 1805 to 1849, began carving for himself a colony in Sudan. Bakhita's mother went to the farm. Her children who remained behind had a commotion. People were running, and unfortunately, her elder sister was kidnapped. Sometime in February 1877, while Bakhita and her friend were playing in the field, Arab slave traders kidnapped her, young and just a child. She was forced to walk barefoot over 600 miles to a slave market in Al Ubaid. Her feet bled and she sobbed hysterically. She was bought and sold at least twice during the grueling journey. For the next 12 years, she would be bought, sold, and given away many times. She spent so much time in captivity that she forgot her original name. She was given the name Bakhita, which means fortunate. As a slave, she was treated cruelly most times, though in some instances she received fair treatment. Her first owner, a rich Arab, gave her to his daughter as a maid. Her work was not difficult until she offended the Arab's son. She broke a vase. She was beaten so severely, bedridden for a month. After that, she was sold to a Turkish general. She was beaten daily by the wife and daughter. She bore the pain of wounds that hardly ceased. The daughter of the master overheard Bakhita returning how she had previously escaped. She was chained for 1 month. The general's wife ordered her to be scourged as she watched, ready to whip her. Patterns were drawn on her skin by her tormentor. Flour was used and her flesh was cut with a blade. Salt was rubbed in, making the scars permanent. Her total scars were 114. The pain was excruciating. She was semi-conscious and barely moved. In 1883, the Turkish general sold her to the Italian vice-consul, Callisto Legani. He had visited and Bakhita served him coffee. He was a kind master. He was to return to Italy and Bakhita begged to go with him. He agreed. After a long and dangerous journey across Sudan, the Red Sea and the Mediterranean, they arrived in Italy. She was given away to another family and worked as a nanny. Josephine was placed in the custody of the Canossian sisters in Venice because her mistress was traveling back to Sudan. While she was in custody of the sisters, she learned about God. According to Josephine, she knew God as having created all things, but did not know who He was. She did not have a personal relationship with Him. Her questions were answered by the sisters, and she was deeply touched and discerned a call to follow Christ. When her mistress returned to Italy, Josephine refused to leave. Her mistress spent 3 days trying to persuade her to leave the sisters, but Josephine was adamant. This caused the superior of the Institute for Baptismal Candidates among the sisters to complain to Italian authorities on Josephine's behalf. The court discovered that slavery had been outlawed in Sudan before Bakhita was born. She was declared free. Josephine chose to remain with the Canossian sisters. She was free for the very first time. She was baptized on January 9, 1890, and Josephine Margaret was her name. Fortunata was her name too. This is the Latin translation for her Arabic name Bakhita. She also received the sacraments of First Holy Communion and Confirmation on the same day. Josephine became a novice with the Canossian Daughters of Charity religious order on December 7, 1893, and took her final vows on December 8, 1896. She was eventually sent to a convent in Chio Vicenza. She worked as a doorkeeper and a cook in the convent for 42 years. She visited other convents, telling her story to other sisters and preparing them for her work in Africa. She was gentle, charismatic, and smiled warmly. They called her respectively as the Black Mother. She recounted her past experiences in enslavement and often thanked her kidnappers. They facilitated her to know Jesus Christ and His church. Later, as time progressed, she began suffering physical pain and was forced to use a wheelchair. Always remained cheerful. If anyone asked her, how she should reply, as the Master desires. On the evening of February 8, 1947, Josephine spoke her last words, "Our Lady, Our Lady." Then she died. Her body was displayed for 3 days. The process of canonization began under Pope John XXIII in 1958. Pope John Paul II declared her venerable on December 1, 1978. Sadly, the news of her beatification in 1992 was censored in Sudan, but just 9 months later, Pope John Paul II visited Sudan and honored her publicly. He canonized her on October 1, 2000. The suffering that happens to us is not in vain. God turns it to joy. Bakhita forgot her pain and thanked her captors for enabling her know Jesus. Saint Josephine Bakhita is a patron saint of Sudan, and her feast day is celebrated on February 8th. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.